Hello and welcome to the Feast or Famine podcast, where everything is on the table. I'm Preston White. I'm here with Chris Apple, the founder and creator of WhiteBullsBBQ. We are also having a guest today, Ray Morales, and we also have Peyton White as an ambassador of WhiteBullsBBQ.
Yes.
So, to get us started, let's talk about what WhiteBullsBBQ is. What is WhiteBullsBBQ? What makes a WhiteBullsBBQ rub?
So my name's Chris, obviously, as you said, and I'm the owner of WhiteBullsBBQ, and we'll start off with saying the rubs were really derived from an ultimate passion of just making barbecue the best it could be. A lot of people cut corners with like rubs in the market, and if you go to it, it's almost like that old adage, oh, that's store-bought. And store-bought's almost like a lesser term. So like I got tired of the store-bought type of stuff and developing my own rubs with coarseness. That's where the rubs come from. And we have 5 flavors. We started with the rub for beef, and that was really developed with a competition guy back in Jersey. Shout out to Tim. He's a Kansas City Barbecue Society guy. I worked with him, and he found out that I liked brisket, and I just started bringing him a slice of brisket every day.
Kansas City, that's a rough competition.
Yeah. Like that's really where the competition lives, and just to have that guy like kind of as a cursor for whether my rub's good or not, that really sparked this company as a whole because I was developing the rubs long before we were selling them, but that was really what led me to take barbecue a lot more serious. So. Today we have 5 flavors, but it started with E-Rub, then we have Bird Gang, Rack City, Pulled Hog, and Taco Uppercut.
All right. Which do you have a favorite?
My favorite's always going to be the rub for beef, just because what I just explained. Yeah, exactly. Like
all right.
Yeah, if I could go back and find Tim, I would tell him like, man, you really helped me raise this baby because
kickstarted it all.
Yeah, it was like 5 different generations of the rub before it was what it was, what it is today. And it's just funny to think back on it because I'll probably never see Tim again, but.
Well, you never know. I mean.
Yeah, the rub was the baby though, man. That was for sure. I hope Tim's out there listening, but that was the catalyst for sure. But yeah, man, so it was something that really pushed me into the next level of this to take it more serious and realize there was a market for it because the passion's not there anymore.
Yeah. Everything's kind of commercial.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Just, how is it a product? How can you, profit off of this? It's not about, what are you really making? Bring
Facts,
to the
dude.
table.
Facts. Yeah.
So, with White Bulls, what kind of drove you to this brand to begin with? Like, what drove you to even make these rubs, these spices, which are delicious, by the way.
Right. Thank you.
I'm not going to shill a product, by the way, unless I have actually tried it for myself, and I can say without a doubt that it is one of the best damn spices or rubs or whatever you want to refer to it as that I've had in pretty much ever. So
I appreciate that.
For what you will.
Yeah, it's high praise, but basically, yeah, I just was somebody that enjoyed barbecue, and I was kind of going through it with my ex at the time, and I really leaned into it harder.
Okay.
Because, my buddy bought a house, and there was a smoker there, and he's like, look at this thing. The previous owners kind of left it. Being from Philly, we're kind of like illiterate to barbecue, so we didn't know what the hell.
With insulting Philly.
Yeah,
They might agree with you.
Yeah, I invite them to a fight if they don't like it. That's very Philly of me, so hopefully they respect it. But yeah, we're not a barbecue culture. So, when we saw this, it was like baffling. It was like, what the hell is this? Literally a Google moment. Like everybody's had that Google moment where you're like, what is this? We knew it was a smoker. Yeah, like caveman's discovering fire or something. Like, whoa, what's this? And, when we searched it, we knew it was a smoker, but we didn't know how to cook on it. You get what I'm saying? So he found brisket recipe and he's like, yo, come back next week, man. You got to try this. So long story short, I come back the next week. He's doing this. Like, he's rubbing his hands together. He's like, oh, man, it's going to be fantastic. He pulls it out. He uncovers it from the foil. I'm like, bro, what is this rock? Like, did you just cook a rock? Yeah, it looked like a rock. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then he started slicing it. And I quickly understood, like, Okay. No, like, yeah, it didn't look bad. Just like the bark and like the way that a brisket looks for having never seen it.
He cooked it so much.
No, he did a great job, and that really,
that's impressive.
It was love at first bite.
First time I've ever touched a smoker, I'm pretty sure I demolished the turkey that I was smoking. It's not a good time.
Love at first bite, dude. He nailed it. And when I ate brisket, my mind just exploded, and I just had this deep fucking seated need to eat brisket, and I went and bought a smoker for $8 on fucking OfferUp.
Like a part of your brain that you didn't know was there.
Every day at work, all I would think about was barbecue and how I needed to research, and I found this cherry wood, and so long story short, I bought a smoker for $8 on OfferUp. And I went and got it, and $8 fucking dollars. That's hand to God, dude. Yeah, and I put the money in their mailbox. Like, I could have stole it. So shout out to those people, because they're like, oh, just come take it and leave the money. Yeah,
especially in Philly.
Yeah, so they only wanted $8. I gave them a 10. Yes, I gave them $10. Yeah, no, they were very trustworthy for Philly, but yeah. So from there, I just kind of really took it a lot further, but it was still something I enjoyed as a hobby. So when I got this bonus from my job, it was a surprise bonus. I was flipping Jordans like kind of low key, and then when I got that bonus, it was like, okay, let me.
Kind of your hustle before
now I can go get Space Jam 11s, which were like like 250, 300, and I flipped them for like $6. Mm-hmm. And I never looked back from that moment. I quit my job like 3 months later. Yep. And I had like 20 grand in my pocket when I quit that job, cash, nice. and I probably made another 50 after that over the course of another 10 months. And like I realized that the market for that was drying up. So I took that money and I said, nobody is going to, everybody eats 3 times a day, at least, sometimes more. Shout out to my seventh mealers out there. If you're in Texas like I am right now and you're eating,
dinner is best dinner.
Listen, I'm on 7th dinner because of Buc-ee's.
7th dinner, 7th heaven, man.
Right, but I knew food was a good market, to put my money in, and I never looked back, man. I developed the logo I made myself, and I like the White Bull's name comes from being a white dude from Philly. The slang is bull there, like, yo, that's my young bull, or that's my bull, like, and then they're like, where'd you get this barbecue? I got it from my White Bull. So it just it all made sense right then and there, and I never looked back, man. And we had the restaurant, long story short, and COVID came, and then that's when we got into the rubs.
So this is all really organic. I mean, it wasn't just something that you sat on Etsy and you were like, you know what? That looks like a cool idea. I should totally try smoking. Like, you actually
real shit. Yeah, no, this. Yeah,
bro. It wasn't just something that you came up with on a whim and you had some extra cash.
Total grassroots, bro. Yeah.
I mean, and to me, I feel like that's how you do it. If you want
to truly win, like you got to put your heart in it. Yeah. I mean, you can't do a part to, this can't be a part-time thing and then you want it to blow up. It just don't work that way. So I've been balls to the wall with this for 2 years, and now, things are really starting to take off. We're in Ace Hardware, and I'm flying everywhere, and it's just been a major blessing. But for everybody, man.
You're from Philly, and right now we're sitting here in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a journey to make. What brought you here to Texas? I mean, I know the answer, but let's go ahead and
let the people know, right?
Let the people know. How'd you end up in Texas?
So basically, for those that don't know, Peyton's an ambassador of mine, and he's 21. He's autistic, great kid. And I think that the autistic community doesn't get the kind of respect it deserves, and like people kind of look at them as, like, I hate to say this, dare I say, but almost like second-rate citizens.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And
it's
so,
like, you hide them as like, behind like,
And I had been traveling before, and we'll get into that because Ray is here as well. And I traveled to LA before a couple times and did some events, and I'd really connected with Peyton and his mom. And she does a lot for autism, and I just looked at Peyton as like somebody that could show not only regular people but other autistic people that you can do whatever you want to do. This kid's got a lot of heart.
Bring it all together again. It's all about. I mean, it's food.
Yeah. Yes, and we're using the power of food and my platform with food to bring that to the table. So
I mean, whether you're autistic,
and we could open up the conversation about how these people, deserve better. They deserve a spotlight. So that's what really brought me here, was to come connect with Peyton and his mom, Lynn, who's been a major help. She's really the lifestyle brand manager for this. And she said, why don't you come out here? And then I invited Ray out here, and it just kind of became like a White Bulls team meetup. And we've been going around to Ace Hardwares to sell these rubs because we have Ace Hardwares now in Folsom, California. And we just basically did an Ace tour, man. It was kick-ass. We even ran into some people like Flynn of All Trades, shout out to him. He literally stops me in the parking lot at the Lake Con. Yeah, we're at the Lake Conroe Ace Hardware, and we're walking out, and I'm literally shooting a video to flex that I was there. And he pulls up, and you could hear it in the video. He's like, "Hey, Chris." And he stops in the middle of the parking lot.
Small world,
yeah,
man.
Dude, he stops in the middle of the parking lot, puts his window down, yells my name. It was like a celebrity moment. And I walk over, and he's like, "Flynn of all trades, bro. Like, this is crazy. You guys are here. Like, you and Ray are here. What the hell? Like, what are you doing, man?" And it was just like, okay, like, this is what it's all about. So we basically just did an ace tour, man, and we hit a bunch of aces, and I'm pretty confident you'll be seeing our stuff in aces in Texas really soon. So that's what this was all about, was spending time with Peyton, really getting to meet him. We gave him a team shirt, which lit his world up, and really made him feel included, man.
You got a great video on that.
Yeah.
Was it on your Instagram?
It's going to be on YouTube as well, man. Nice. But just the reaction this kid had, it was like Christmas morning type shit. Like, you can't script that, man. Yeah. So, like, he had no idea, and the package had been waiting, and me and Ray personally came to deliver it to him. It was like, the reaction was like priceless, man. So
yeah, I was amazed when I got that shirt.
Yeah, he's rocking it right now. It has a Texas flag on the shoulder.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely won't make it. I'm not gonna steal that, Peyton. I'm just gonna scratch out your name.
Nah, we're gonna get you a Preston shirt, but yeah, man, it has a Texas flag on the shoulder, American flag on the shoulder. It's just a badass Carhartt work shirt, man. Make them feel included and really properly welcome them to the team with my team members. So it was a good organic moment. Again, organics, man. That's what all this is really run off of. And anybody that wants to do this, wants to be like White Bulls, you got to do it organic. Cut the bullshit. Stop capping.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be White Bulls, no bullshit.
Exactly, bro. 100%. Keep it real, and that's it.
You had mentioned earlier that you had, met up with Ray along your journey. I mean, how did that kind of happen? I mean, again, something that, I know, but
right.
To our
so it goes once again back to organics, man. Like, I used to just get on Instagram and look up the hashtags for like Traeger grills or barbecue or whatever the case, and I would come across these types of posts. I would interact with them. This is some game for y'all too out there. If you want to grow organically. So basically, I just went through the hashtag and would comment on pictures that appealed to me. Like, yo, looks good, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of connected with Ray that way originally. And then I came up with this competition for Does It Even Smoke, which is my tongue-in-cheek phrase that I say to piss off people with offsets and stick burners that say pellets are garbage or they're not real.
You gotta cook with propane and propane only.
Yeah, like they're going Hank Hill on them. But yeah, like, long story short, man, I put this contest out, and Ray was one of the more wittier entries, and he got voted by the people to the top, and then he almost won the whole thing, so he came in second place. But it was just like the energy and the he kind of just had that White Bulls energy. So like, he was putting silly videos out there, like putting Bird Gang in a tree and shit, like just funny shit. So I reached out to him like, dude, that's hilarious. I'd love to have you as a part of my team. I take like what you did serious. It's a certain kind of energy you don't see from other people. So that was really the start of that. And then from there, we really just planned like, yo, I got to come out there and we got to rock these people with my smoked cheesesteak. Like, they don't get cheesesteaks there, and we'll do briskets and ribs and stuff like that. And we did this pop-up in San Bernardino. It was a 5-hour event. We sold out in 45 minutes. People drove 4 hours, some people.
Nice.
From places in Cali, and just showed mad hospitality and bought up all the food, man. And from there, yeah, and he was a big part of coordinating that. And for those that don't know, that don't run a business, like, having somebody that really gets that and tries to take some of that shit off your plate, like, don't ignore that, because a lot of people just have their hand out. Everybody on my team contributes, and that's really a reflection of me and what this is all about. So if you guys want to run a business out there and you want to meet the right people, make sure you lead with the right intentions, period.
And there's tons of people, I mean, going with that, there's so many businesses that they try to start this up, and they either willingly take advantage of other people who will do anything for them, and they just, they treat it as, that's how it should be. Or they have people who will do everything for them, and they don't even take advantage of it. They don't reciprocate respectively.
Yes,
and they
reciprocation.
Ignore their capabilities.
Yeah. Like, dude,
you gotta know, what your team is capable of, and really use that to grow yourself and grow your business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And know what you know and know what you don't know. Like, I know I'm great at some things and other people are great at other things. Like, we all have different styles and regions. Like, Ray is from LA, basically. He's from Rialto. And his family has a rich, culture. And so he makes like this amazing Tex-Mex style barbecue. It's very authentic Mexican style barbecue.
I'm gonna stop you right now there because you did not mention his bomb ass nachos, which are easily some of the best nachos. Not some of them. Let me scratch that. The best nachos I've ever had, and the best guacamole I have ever had.
He needs to start packing that guac, so be on the lookout.
Holy crap. So many different flavors that were in that. Like,
but again,
no joke.
His strengths.
I'm still thinking to this day. I'm thinking back to it like the one that got away.
Yeah.
Like that girl that you met once. And you're like, oh man,
like I need that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a conversation earlier, Chris and I. And I was telling him, you do all the rubs, you master the rubs, you know the science behind the rubs, and I'm more of a cuisine guy, like at the cutting board, chopping, mixing herbs and all this stuff and putting things together. I have the taste for that. I have the experience for that, but he has experience with the rubs and the temperature wise of barbecue and all that.
I'm more of a pit master. He's more of a chef, but he's definitely both in his own right and respect. And the culture aspect of it just brings more to the table for White Bulls. I mean, a lot of people that do start a conglomerate, whether it's food or not, they don't think about being well-rounded. They think about how can I have people that
profit off this.
It's like
at the end of the day, how
like
am
I want to put
money
people in place just to make some money. They're not
how
thinking.
Am I make a quality product?
Right. They don't love the culture of it. They don't love the sport of it.
Think about who's then receiving that product. It's who's you're giving the food to. Who are you giving that food to? People that you either care about or something. I mean,
100%.
When you're eating, again,
it translates, bro. When they know you care too, like when you're passionate and they know you care about your customers, they're gonna love the product even more. Like the product's great anyways, which was really a big focus because that's going back to what we're saying. You got people cutting corners and not really giving you that quality product because their heart's not really in it. Yeah. So that's how White Bulls translates so well, and that's how I built such a great team. Just stay genuine. And that's really what this podcast is about, is giving us a platform to just talk our shit. Bring it to the table. Lay it all out there. Feast or famine. Yeah, it's all on the table.
Feast or famine.
Yeah.
So, you've made quite a journey. When did you really start this journey?
This started back in 2019.
2019, all right.
Yeah.
And right now it's 2021. We're in the middle of 2021. When do you have any plans for the future for the rest of 2021, 2022? Do you have like a roadmap?
Hell yeah.
Of what you're doing?
So this is currently the end of June, and in the middle of July I'll be out in Northern Cali. I already have the rubs and Ace Hardware in Folsom. So if you're near Folsom, we're already there. Go out and support, and I'll be there just doing a promo in front of Ace Hardware, getting some content with Ace Hardware, getting some content with my buddy Chris, who's also a team member of White Bulls. And just, really taking over and kind of doing what I did when I was here. Go to a bunch of Ace Hardwares in person, put a rub in their face, and say, you need this on your shelf.
Just literally shove it in their face.
Yeah, literally.
Make them sneeze.
They have to
get it in their eyes. Taste it with their eyeballs,
Yeah, just start sprinkle it on their head if I have to.
I mean,
sprinkle it, man.
Yeah.
Make it rain.
Rub drops keep falling on my head. And that's how they're going to feel every time I come to town, because I'm going to walk in there with an Ace bottle, with an Ace bottle. I'm going to walk in there into the Ace with the bottle in hand and say, this is in Folsom. Why isn't it here? And we're going to blow up. We're going to take out over. And it's like I'm going to be there promoting and cooking in front of the store. The people will be able to meet me. Again, this is basically for 2021. It's a tour for me to not only promote the product, but promote what this brand's about and how it's really a team. It's not just
showing you what it is, not expecting you to already.
Right, like we don't send a product and say, please buy this, and then expect our customers to just keep buying it when there's no integrity behind the product. Sure. So we need to show them that this is for real. And me going to these places, like on a barbecue tour, really brings a different kind of energy.
You're not just making a product. I mean, you're basically making almost like
I'm living a product.
Like a lifestyle kind of thing.
It's a lifestyle.
You're making like a culture.
Exactly. I live this brand, which makes it a lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
I feel like food has always been something that's more than just a product. I feel like that's a very modern thing, if you will. Pardon me if that sounds a little political, but also don't pardon me because I'm going to speak my mind on that as well.
That's what we do here.
I always feel like so many things become so commodified. Even the idea of a meal. I mean, so many people, they eat in their cars. They treat a meal as just a throwaway thing.
Yeah.
The idea of sitting down, getting to know people that you would have never. I mean, I hadn't met you guys until earlier this week.
2 days ago.
Yeah, and it's been a fantastic journey.
Appreciate
and
that.
It's food. It's food that brings people together. Because
exactly.
Again, it translates across every language, every culture.
Yeah. You could bring a lot of things into the fold. Like having a Peyton or a Ray or a you even, you know, like you can bring everyone to the table, so to speak. And that's really the beauty of it, is like food brings people together. So it's a catalyst for a lot of things people don't realize. They're just looking at like, how can I make money out of this market instead of how can I change the game? Yeah. And that's the difference with White Bulls Barbecue. Period. I mean, so
it's really funny when you think about it, because it's almost like a normal thing.
Yeah.
You know? But it's not in today's society, you know, to just bring people. I mean, in certain cultures.
Well, especially with the pandemic, people were so separated. I feel like people slipped even deeper into that social media. Yeah.
Now more than ever.
Right. People were separated and less connected more than ever, especially because of that. Yeah. So I think it's important to keep pushing the narrative of bringing people together with good food, man. For sure.
Because if you keep letting people separate like that, it's you know,
detrimental to the society, man.
Yeah, you're not going to have that connection. It just kind of degrades over time. You know, you're not.
You start operating at a lower vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be with your people and turn it up.
Absolutely, and you know, again, good food goes beyond just good ingredients. It's how you bring that food to the table, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
I mean, respect is like,
to break it down. I could go to HEB and get guacamole, and shout out to them. No disrespect, but
HEB's got great guacamole.
Yeah, but the way that Ray's gonna stand over that kitchen for a half hour and make guacamole from scratch, like that's it just translates different. It's the same thing. Like that genuine authenticity. And again, HEB I'm sure is making great guac, but this is 30, 40, 50 years worth of culture because he learned from great people that, you know, that do this. So I think again, it's that presentation. It's the way he's putting his heart into it. Exactly. It tastes even better. It tastes even better because something's behind it.
There's soul into it. I mean, every piece of food that you make, I mean, it's not just a science. There's a science behind it. I mean,
sure.
You're doing chemistry.
But it's almost spiritual in a way.
Yeah,
like
you're putting a piece of your soul in.
Yes.
Every time you cook a meal.
Amen to that.
And always seeing that smile on that person's face.
Yeah.
When they see, when
it's
they
the ultimate reward.
Yeah. I don't need a trophy.
People ask me all the time, like, yo, how could you stand around with a brisket for 16 hours? I'm like, because I know when they eat it or they eat some burn ends, like it's like, it's just going to be silence and a bunch of like there's just, Yeah. That's why we put in the YouTube intro. Like, it's so relevant because when you eat this barbecue, that's how you're going to feel.
Exactly the noise you're going to be
making. Exactly.
So, I mean, I really like the idea of also bringing barbecue beyond just, because when you think of barbecue, you always think of, like Kansas City.
Yeah.
You think Texas.
Of course.
Very, like, specific parts. But it's always had this kind of connotation of a certain specific type. Like, it's, 40s to 60s year old dad who does barbecue on July 4th. And it's like such a commodified thing.
Yeah, very much so in Philly too. Like we don't have that rich culture, so it's like for a 29-year-old.
It's so detached from culture.
Yes, and we got to bring that back. That's really what my mission's about, because in Philly it's not really a thing.
It's more than bringing just a brand or a product. It's a way of communicating.
I take the connection thing to a different level, bro. Like, I came up with the tri-tip cheesesteak, right? Tri-tip is indigenous to California. Mm-hmm. So I cook it low and slow like Texas. And then I put it in a roll and put homemade from scratch cheese whiz and onions on it. And it's a true Philly cheesesteak, a with or without. But it brought all these regions together. And it's like, that's the kind of commitment you have to bringing people together, bro. Because I brought 3 regions together in one sandwich. And it's almost like I'm forcing Philly to like it because they already like cheesesteaks. I'm convincing California to smoke tri-tip slow. And I'm tipping my hat and say, how do you, how do to Texas. Let me get it together. Let me get it together. How do or howdy, one or the other. But I'm tipping my hat to Texas and saying shout out to y'all too. So
do.
You got to have that kind of connection, though, to like everything that you want to really, truly touch and leave a lasting impression. Like, you can't just do these little guerrilla marketing schemes and make money and get in and get out. Like,
it's almost disrespectful when you do that.
Yeah.
So you always have people who are talking about cultural appropriation or, some BS like that. But to me, the worst thing is always when you commodify something that has, like, rich cultural history or something like that, just for the purpose of profit. Now, if you're doing it for the purpose of making something quality, making something good,
absolutely,
there's not only nothing wrong with that, that's ideal. That's
right.
That's, again,
you keep your dignity and integrity, and people respect
like the same
it.
Thing, but it's not. Yeah. It's almost polar opposite.
Right.
Absolutely
I agree.
Opposite.
Yeah.
And when you have, like you said, you have a tri-tip steak that's slow cooked with a Philly style cheese, bringing that all together. That's not just saying, oh, this is a Texas cheese steak.
Right.
You're not trying to sell it and commodify
it.
To
I think it's a difference between.
This is a good idea. Oh, this is a good idea.
And there's a big difference between stealing culture and paying homage to culture.
Yes, 100%.
That's kind of in so many words what you're saying. Like, I can't be a dude from Philly and acting like I'm bigger and better than Texas just to make profit off it, but really I'm Swagger Jack in Texas. Like, you gotta
not coming in here with a Stetson saying, howdy y'all. I'm from
Texas. Right.
No, you're still from Philly.
Yeah, like this is Philly barbecue. Yes.
We got our guns. We got our Texas. We got our
Speaking
Texas.
Of that.
Yeah, speaking of that. Yeah.
Speaking of that.
My man had, for a little bit of context, my man went to a shooting range earlier.
What was it? Saddle River?
Range.
Saddle River Range.
It was an epic day.
Texas.
Yeah, I shot a Diamondback 9mm fully auto.
If that offends the sensibilities of some of our listeners,
just turn it off now.
Just turn it off now. Just let you know.
We don't care. Come and take it. Anyways.
Come and take it. That is definitely a Texas.
And Ray got to shoot some handguns and Ray got to shoot some handguns and we had a great time, man. And the Diamondback kept jamming, towards the end. Yeah, but they took care of it because they let me shoot. I believe it was an automatic Glock 19. I had to put a strap around my arm. And it was like 5-round burst. I couldn't go full auto because it's against the rules, but it was epic though. But yeah, man, like you can't come to certain places and not respect their culture or try to take their culture and not pay homage. So I came here on some Philly barbecue shit. Like, yo, I'm Philly barbecue, but it's derived from this, and I'm here to pay respect and pay homage. And it's translated because when I walk in these Ace Hardwares or these academies, we just spark up genuine conversation, and it goes back to what this is all about, and now we're moving forward.
Humans are social creatures. I mean, we want to communicate, but we're so in our bubbles. I mean, especially after the pandemic.
That's what I meant.
After the pandemic, we're so tightly wound.
We need to bring that back. We need to be woven again. Back. Like, society needs to get woven back together again, and food is...
better way than
barbecue especially. So, that's the mission.
Who doesn't love sitting there with a plate full of barbecue and a plate full of napkins for that barbecue?
Right, yeah, and some head country apple habanero. Shameless plug. Shout out to them. Yo, you got to get our spices, our rubs, our spices, whatever you want to call them. Get our seasonings. But, man, shout out to apple habanero from Head Country. That is my favorite sauce.
I just tried them the other day.
Favorite sauce, no doubt. Send me a case. But anyways, yeah, man, I love the culture here, though, and that's the plan for 2021 to really wrap up that question and that answer is, like, just going to these markets and really touching the markets so they know White Bulls ain't on some fraud shit. Like, we're here to really touch the people and shake hands, rub shoulders, and shoot guns if possible.
The different parts of the U.S.
Absolutely. I got to see, what's his name, Sam Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see that statue I was driving. It's like, okay, this is the father of Texas. It's like, okay, it's cool. Like, you get that culture. Again, you're soaking it in. You're not just culture vulturing something. I can't say Texas-style barbecue on my rubs if I've never even fucking been to Texas. Yes. So, like, that's exactly what you're saying. Like, this is important to do, not only to touch the people, but to really soak up the culture so I could truly respect it and pay homage.
And this culture here in Texas is amazing. You guys are, welcome. Yes. You guys are welcoming and stuff. Hospitality is amazing. And every ACES that we went to was incredible. Your guys' hospitality there. Your services was amazing. And of course, we got to meet a lot of people, even
in the stores,
even customers.
Malcolm. Man, shout out to Malcolm. He's probably not listening because he's like 80 years old and doesn't use the internet. But we had like a 15-minute conversation with this guy and literally trapped our barbecue rubs to him in the aisle because he thought they were already in Ace and we were there to promote them, not knowing we were there to promote them to the manager so they can be in Ace. And we sold them to him just from sparking a conversation with him, and he was super passionate about us by the end of it.
Like I said, people are willing
to
converse.
Yeah.
You just gotta...
That matters. Like I said, like once they know you'll connect and you respect them and you're listening, like the translation's easy. You know, even though I'm from Philly and he's from Texas, it's like it was still easy, man, because what we do and the way we do it brings everyone together. So yeah, it was beautiful being down here. We loved it. No doubt.
We definitely love having you here. It was
we're glad. Yeah,
it's going to become the second home of White Bulls. You could say, you can mark I said that. Like, that's coming.
Extremely happy to bring Philly and Cali to Texas.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this was great having you here, Chris. Great having you here, Ray and Peyton.
Appreciate
you very much.
And
much love for you guys.
Out here. Thanks for listening and tuning in. We're hoping to see you next week, and you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you then.
Let's get it.
The best damn barbecue ever.